Hey guys, today I'm going to be walking you through how to install the rod rig into an SUV. So the first thing you're going to want to do is position the smaller extending tube towards the driver's side of your vehicle. First you're going to start by removing the yellow cup cover and then position the rod rig so that the aluminum tube is perpendicular to the window you're going to mount it on. Next you're going to take the vacuum cup, push it up against the window and start pumping the plunger until you feel it start to create suction. You'll know it's formed a seal when you feel the plunger start to slow down, and at that point you should be able to let go and the cup will hold itself up. Now you just want to keep pumping until that white warning line is just barely visible below the housing. Now just repeat that process on the opposite window by again removing the cup cover, pressing the vacuum cup up against the glass, and then pumping the plunger until you feel it start to grab. Then you want to just keep pumping until that white warning line is just barely visible below the housing. There we go. Now the rod rig is holding itself up. Next thing you're going to want to do is check to make sure the rod rig is level. I can see that the right cup is sitting a little bit low, so I'm just going to place my hand onto the vacuum cup and then slide it up into the position that I want. Next, we're going to set the angle of the rod rig. To start, we're going to grab a fishing rod and put it into one of the rod holders. You should set the angle so that the end of the rod is just barely touching the headliner. To do this, grab the vacuum cup and then twist it up into the position that you want. Now that the rod rig is in the position that we want, we're going to lock it into place by pumping the plungers until that white warning line disappears. Then do the same on the other side. And there we go. The cups are secure and the rod rig is all set for transport. When you're storing your fishing rods in the rod rig, we recommend keeping the hook back near the handle so that way it doesn't get caught on the roof of your vehicle. To store your fishing rod, you're going to move the handle through the opening in the rod holder, push it against the shock cord, and then guide it into this V-shaped groove at the bottom of the rod holder. Depending on the size of the handle you're trying to store, you can use this pull tab to either increase or decrease the tension that the shock cord has on the rod handle. You can also experiment with keeping the reel either behind or in between the rod holders. And if you have any broken down sections of your rod, those can just be stored next to the handle and then secured using the shock cord. To take down the fishing rods, you're just going to follow that same process in reverse, so you can decrease the tension of the shock cord if necessary, then push the rod handle against the shock cord and guide it out of the opening in the rod holder. To take down your rod rig, you're going to use these tabs located on the side of the vacuum cup. The best way to do this is grab the vacuum cup with your hand and then use your finger to pull that tab towards the center of the vacuum cup while twisting the whole thing away from the window. And that should break the seal between the cup and the glass. Then just do the same thing on the other side by grabbing the vacuum bracket, pulling the tab with your finger and twisting it away from the window. And that's all it takes. When you're not using your rod rig, we recommend keeping those plastic covers on the cups just to prevent any potential damage. And then you can store your rod rig in your house or in your car until your next fishing trip.